using alternate timeline theory and parallel universe theory in regards to red pill and with women. So when it comes to these concepts of alternate timelines, alternate dimensions, parallel universe, it's a very tricky concept because everyone has their own belief system on the spectrum of science and religion, faith, belief, the point of things, God, all of that. So people like their security in terms of their predictable world, predictable patterns that they know of what to expect. Like they live in a neighborhood and they have their grocery store and they always get food at this grocery store and they always get this specific item of this food on this shelf, and now they're mad that after 20 years they switch the brand to a different brand. So like the old lady or the old guy takes out their glasses and they try to read the new label and they're like, oh, well, why'd they get rid of this, or why'd they move aisle 2 to aisle 3? So I bring that up to highlight the point of how people like their comfortable, predictable stuff. So when you get into these topics of alternate timelines, alternate dimensions, parallel universe, every single person is going to have their own opinion on any of that. So there's a lot to it, but taking the basics of those theories and applying them to red pill and with women, you can create your own alternate timeline. You can create your own parallel universe, because we all have a choice. There's always a fork in the road when it comes to karma, when it comes to how we're treating other people. There's always a decision. There's always a 50-50. So say two guys are in line to buy a lottery ticket and they don't know that that specific store at that time has like the $100 million ticket. So they're both just in line buying a ticket. You know, most people buying it just like, oh, if I ever won something one day, you know, they're not really thinking it's going to be them or whatever, or how the whole system even works. But just for the sake of the example, two guys are in line to buy that ticket. One guy gets it, wins the 100 million. If the other guy would have got to the store a couple minutes sooner, he would have been the one who won that 100 million. So based on them leaving the house at whatever time they left to go to that store, there's these two different timelines that take place. Which one of the two guys ends up becoming the rich guy with $100 million? Now that affects things. Whoever got to the store first, that affects their family. That affects their level with women. That affects their social status, what they can do, where they can travel, the money they can save, the life they can live. So that's an example of how we're always making these choices that have an unlimited number of cause and effect reactions. So without going too deep into like the science side of alternate timelines or the religion side of it, and just going on a day-to-day simple explanation, we're always making these choices that could affect things, like a ripple effect that you don't know how it's going to end up. It's like me being out here in public today. I'm at the beach in La Jolla, California, in San Diego. I can go up to someone right now and just say, hey, how's it going? Good afternoon, how's your day? And I can create a more positive aura, a more positive experience, or I can go up to someone and tell them, get lost, get out of here. And I can make it a negative experience. And that energy is going to affect them. If someone's already going through something today, maybe the positive experience lifts them up and helps them do something positive in someone else's timeline. If they're going through something today and I come up with the negative energy, maybe they take that negative energy and then they go home, and whoever they live with, now those people are getting the burden of that energy. So we're all a part of this, and we all have a bunch of different ways of how our life can play out. And one way I like to think about this in terms of how people evaluate each other, judge each other, we're all learning, and so we come to different conclusions at different ages and different times. So it's all a learning process. There's no good or bad person. There's no person that's doing it 100% correct, a person is doing it 100% incorrect. But with the concept of the modern day, like social media, if you put all your Facebook friends or Instagram followers, YouTube subscribers, whatever, if you put their names in a hat and you pick one at random, there's no reason that that person could not end up as the richest person or the most successful, or however you want to define that. How's it going, guys?
Good.
For sure. Yeah, I got kid-size tie-dyes, short and long sleeves, hoodies and tanks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so you always have these choices of how things can go. And so, like I said, with the energy, you cultivate that positive energy, and that puts it in a way where someone else is in a position where they might be more receptive to positive energy, and then they continue it. Or if I push the negative, then it creates more negativity in their cloud, in their aura, in their circle, and then they put that negativity onto others. So there's always that cause and effect, and there's always that 50-50. But like I said, without getting too into the science or the religion side of it, just going with basic examples of how we can make choices and affect things, using alternate timelines and parallel universe theory, you can apply that to the red pill. So guys that go through the world and, you know, they're always having girl problems, dating problems, or why didn't she text me back, why didn't she like me back, or just like they don't really they're not red pilled, and they don't really get it. But you can create an alternate timeline for yourself. So the first thing is just like being real about some basic realities. So again, without going too much into the science or the religion, what's the reason that we're all here? Like, in terms of, I don't mean it in a super metaphorical big sense, but like the basic reason. Why are you standing here today? Why are you watching a YouTube video? Why are you posting a YouTube video? Why are you in that present moment? Because two people, a man and a woman, had sex and you were created. So regardless of the person that's so science-based and evolution and the science we're given is factual, and then the other person that, oh, well, whatever religion I was brought up in, that's 100%, that's factual. Regardless of your spectrum on that, the fact of the matter is that males and females get together and reproduce and create offspring for the next generation. That's the reason that we're standing here, being able to share this information, being able to post a YouTube video where someone can digest, either like it or dislike it, comment, take it for what it is, maybe learn something, and add to the collective in however we see fit. So like that whole reasoning is two people getting together. So understanding intersexual dynamics is important, like the blue pill versus the red pill, your place in the game, how you're perceived, how women view you. That's important stuff. So in order to cultivate that family, in order to cultivate those children, there's just some basic things that make more sense as a guy. Now, again, like with alternate timeline, you can choose not to have kids. You can choose to have kids. But I'm saying the dynamic in itself of the male and the female even being attracted to each other, if you're gonna raise a family, you gotta, at some point in your life, get to the conclusion of money's a little bit important. So, like, no woman is trying to raise a kid on the street in a cardboard box. So, if you're 25 years old, you're working a minimum wage job, cashier at Walmart or something, you don't have to just like get all down about yourself, like, oh, like this girl didn't like me back, thought my job sucked. You're 25. I mean, you just graduated high school at 18, college at 22 possibly. You're just at the bottom of the economy when it comes to how like a woman's going to evaluate you, what you can do for her sexually, for her children, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. You at 25 working cashier at Walmart, where you're just like there for 40 hours a week, so you don't have the time freedom, and you're not even bringing home that much money, so your family unit, if you had kids with her, it'd be kind of stressful. You don't have to just accept defeat as just like the beta male that like one girl didn't like you back. You can make a plan. Accept your job. It's just your current position. Accept your job. Maybe you're working that Walmart cashier job Monday through Friday, and you want to be a photographer. So Saturday and Sunday, you buy a camera, you start going out to the beaches and the parks, learning the settings of the camera. You notice your first couple pictures are really bad, and then you learn more about shutter speed and aperture and lighting. And now oh, like this time of the day, this angle, I need to change the settings, and oh, now my pictures are coming out better. So you get better at it, you build a brand, you work, you go out there and you make it happen. You don't make excuses. You don't go out with the energy of people owe you a sale on your prints. You do the work. You accept that Walmart cashier job at 25. On your weekends, you work. You don't go with these friends that just want to drink and not make progress. You work Saturday to Sunday, and it might take you 10 years. But in 10 years of doing that on your weekends, now you are a photographer because you got good at taking pictures, you've built a brand, you've sold some prints, maybe did some photo shoots for models or whatever, and people know, oh, like that's a good photographer, I'm gonna like use them. And so now you're a full-time freelance photographer. You've created that alternate timeline for yourself. So now you've got your, from 25 to 35, you just, instead of cementing yourself as the Walmart cashier, you created that alternate timeline for yourself because you have choices. You have the ability with that 50-50 at any given time. So yeah, you can get into the destiny versus the free will, the parallel universes, the soulmates, and whether everyone is going to agree or disagree on all those topics. I mean, that's always going to be up for debate, but I'm saying without going too far on either side, you know, the complete 100% science and the complete 100% religion. The fact of the matter is males and females get together and reproduce to the next generation. Whether you think that's this like evolutionary thing that's all science, no spirituality, or whether you think it's all spirituality and there's an Adam and Eve and we all come from two, regardless of like where it is on the spectrum, males and females get together and they reproduce. We can talk about those deeper concepts later, but with alternate timeline theory, parallel universes, you can create that for yourself. You can be 25 as a man, and you don't at Walmart, being the cashier, minimum wage. You don't have to just like think that's you. You know, you go and you meet a girl and they say, oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, Walmart cashier. She rejects you, and then you're just like, the guy gets down about himself. He's got like the family member that doesn't believe in him, like the friends, like the people from high school, college, people at his work. Yeah, they just see him as a Walmart cashier. So anytime he opens his mouth to get motivated, they've already evaluated him. So it's just like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a business owner. But then he starts believing that that's what he is. But you don't have to cement yourself that way. You are not the timeline that just other people have put in your head. You can create those alternate dimensions. You can create those alternate realities. You can create those alternate timelines because you accepted the Walmart job, you've worked, you took those pictures, and now you're a photographer at 35. And you created that for yourself because you saw the timeline and you created a new one.